He walked into the room and nobody noticed. If you had to describe his presence at the party in one word, wallpaper. Now, if you're a ninja, a spy, or an assassin, or all three, maybe that description works for you. But for the majority of men, especially those that are single or looking for opportunity to come their way, you don't want to walk into a room and not be taken seriously. A man who has something to offer wants to be noticed by those who are looking for that offer. So by being the best dressed, most confident guy in the room, you are going to captivate. You are going to grab everyone's attention. So, how to be that confident guy that steals the show? Gentlemen, that's the subject of today's video. Rule number 1, frame their opinion based off the biases in which they see the world. Now I get it, all of us are unique and all of us see the world through a unique lens. That being said, to make life easier, the majority of us have an idea, we have a vision of what success looks like. It may be right, it may be wrong, but it's been projected on us since we were young, and for men, in general, wearing a structured jacket, wearing a collared shirt, wearing clothing that fits their body, that is clean. This is the idea of, hey, this person has made it. The average human has to make tons of decisions in a day, and they're going to shortcut. They're going to go to that box in their head that they've got classified what a successful person looks like. And if you fit somewhat that description, they're going to give you an extra couple seconds. They're going to treat you with respect because you seem to deserve it, at least in the way that they frame the world. Now understand that I'm not saying you got to wear a suit because this is different for every industry. If you're in the music industry, you're in the entertainment industry, you're in the sports industry, what success looks like in your industry, you're going to have to pay attention to and adapt to that. But I will tell you that there is a look, there is an image, there is a presentation that is being put forth as what is the high level, and that's what you want to shoot for. So I get it. Yes, today you may be working construction, you just may be a teacher, you may be a student, but when you're showing up to those networking events, you're trying to meet people in the real estate industry because that's what you want to get into. You want to someday own multiple properties. There's nothing wrong with actually dressing like the man you know yourself to be, to actually presenting and putting on clothing that makes you look successful. You're not a fake. You're just putting in the reps. You're practicing, and people are going to treat you as such. Someone that's up and coming, somebody that deserves a few extra minutes of their time. Next step, gents, to being the best dressed man in the room is to understand your body type and dress accordingly. So when you dress to your body type, what you're trying to do is downplay the flaws and you're trying to accentuate your strengths. That being said, you don't want to go all comical here because yes, if you spend a lot of time in the gym, you've got a bodybuilder's physique, that's great, but you don't want to overemphasize the shoulders and chest because it's going to draw too much attention to your build versus what we want to focus in on is your mind, because you want to have a great conversation, not everyone noticing that you look like a cartoon character. Same thing if you're a little bit bigger in the midsection. Yes, you've got a belly that overhangs a bit. We don't want to pay attention to that. Instead, you want to wear a jacket that does a good job of framing you up, making you a bit more square, building up the shoulders. Yes, you are big, you're large and in charge, but people are going to stop focusing on your size and instead they're going to focus in on your intellect, on what you're bringing to the table to the negotiation. Now, for every body type, there are different types of clothing, different things that you can wear. Again, for larger guys, maybe it's going to be higher waisted trousers. For guys who are a bit shorter, it's going to be making sure that you've got all the tailoring, all the adjustments, that the clothing fits your body a little bit closer so the eyes can go up and down. You're going with monochromatic combinations. If you're a thinner guy, we're looking for patterns that can break up, add a bit of layering. That right there is going to give more texturing, which is going to give you a bit more bulk. The point being is paying attention to this small detail. All of a sudden, you're going to be able to best accentuate your frame with clothing that makes you look better, that doesn't shoot you in the foot. Now, we alluded to this, but I want to say it, fit is essential. I've talked about the style pyramid, fit, fabric, and function, but fit sits there at the top. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it again, gents. Know the name of your tailor. Take your clothing to be adjusted. It could just simply be a dress shirt that you buy off the rack, you buy at a thrift store, jeans that you've owned for a while, but you notice they're a little bit long, they need to be hemmed. Guys, all of your clothing, if it doesn't fit you, doesn't matter if you spent $2,000 on that suit, it's not going to look as good as a $200 suit that actually is cut and fit to your body. Now, the next step to being the best dressed man in the room is not being afraid to step it up one more level. So you know that most people are going to be showing up with maybe polo shirts, shorts. Okay, how could you step it up? Maybe go with tropical weight wool trousers, so you're not going to be wearing shorts. You're going to wear maybe a little bit nicer shoes, maybe a pair of casual loafers. And yeah, you could still pull off the polo, but maybe go for a little bit higher quality polo that's made from a really nice, beautiful weave cotton that has just a silky drape. You're pretty much wearing similar clothing as everyone else, but you have stepped it up just a notch. And that big difference right there is all of a sudden you look elegant, you look very handsome, you look well put together. Everyone else, yeah, they just look normal. They all look the same. These guys are wallpaper, and you're the guy that stands out from the crowd and grabs attention. Now, right with this is that you've put in the reps. You've put in practice. Like going to the gym, if you've been to the gym 100 times, you pretty much know what machines you're going to use. You know where the weights are at. You know the etiquette. You know the rules. Guys, it's the same with a great outfit. You've worn that jacket before, you've worn that shirt, maybe not together, but you know that you love them both. You've gotten compliments, they work well, and all of a sudden you're putting together outfits that you've practiced wearing. By practice wearing it, you simply know how it fits, how it feels. You're confident when you pull it off. You know it doesn't have any hidden stains. And this all of a sudden it makes it very comfortable when you put that clothing on. And clothing that's not comfortable, understand that yes, it may look dressy, it may look nice, but if you're not comfortable in it, it's going to feel just unfamiliar, and therefore you're going to be adjusting it. You're going to be looking at yourself in the mirror. People can pick up on that stuff. Maybe, maybe not consciously, but there's going to be something off about what you're trying to pull. It's going to be a costume. The difference between a costume and an outfit that actually is part of who you are and sends the signal you want to send is you've actually worn it. It fits the signal, and it fits basically the message you're wanting to put together. Gents, if you didn't know, here at Real Men Real Style, we've developed what we call the Style Score. We've got a really quick and easy quiz that you can take, and at the end of it, you'll be given a specific number and areas that we think you can improve upon. Seriously, it's just a fun little test that we put together, and I'll link to it down in the description of today's video. Next up, quality over quantity. Now, a lot of us have a lot of clothing in our closet that we never wear. You want to pack that up in a box, put a date on it, and if you don't open it up within a year, you don't use any of that stuff in there, then you want to donate it. Very safe way to do it, but the majority of us, honestly, you want to just have pieces that you absolutely love in your closet. That's where you want to move to, where everything is made well. Every time you put it on, you feel like $1,000,000. And this is going to apply to your accessories, whether it be sunglasses, whether it be a watch. I'm not saying you got to go out there and buy a $20,000 Rolex. You can simply find a watch, maybe a brand that is actually made just to the same specs as Rolex, but at a fraction of the cost, Tudor. Or maybe you want to look at Seiko. Seiko makes some amazing watches as well, and they're going to be at a fraction of the price. There's nothing wrong with owning a $100 watch that comes from a brand that no one's heard of, but is a quality piece that will last you for years. Point being is you understand what you're wearing. You know the heritage, you know the history. You've maybe gone and read a little bit more about those shoes, about that pocket square that you've got right there in your jacket. This attention to detail is going to shine through because you're going to wear the clothing with more confidence. You're going to feel better every time you put it on. You're going to feel like that $1,000,000, and people are going to take note. They're going to notice. You're going to have that X factor. Now, we talked about shoes, and a lot of you guys have heard that shoes are important. But why are they important? For the most part, because they are an end point on the body. And when we look at somebody up and down, we do spend a little bit more time looking at the shoes. And historically, good footwear was a signal that this person had means. This person had money. Throughout most of human history, most people could not afford good footwear. You either made it yourself, and if you made it yourself, very few people could afford to have it made by an artisan that was a craftsman that was using high quality materials. This was nobility. These were kings. These were soldiers. They were the ones that actually were able to afford that. And this is something, even to this day, we'll look down at a quality pair of shoes, and if it's shiny, if it actually looks a bit unique, if it's got a little bit of style to it, we take note, and especially women. Why? Because they are judged more than men on their appearance in general. And it's something that they take note of those details because they pay attention to it on other women. They pay attention on everybody. It's the same thing with, some of you guys are maybe into cars, maybe you're into watches. You're going to take note of that because you're familiar with it. Well, a lot of people that are familiar with the details, and this could be CEOs, it could be people at a higher level, they're going to take note of those details. And having a pair of stylish shoes, yeah, it's not going to get you the job, but it's going to maybe start the conversation. And because they say, hey, this person pays attention to the details, they know the secret code. Next up, walk with confidence. So you're walking into this room, you don't know anybody. Well, have a direction that you're going. Go right to grab a drink, maybe to head over to the bathroom to make sure you're well put together, but have a direction. Walk with confidence, because if you're walking around looking like you're lost, it just doesn't instill. It's not the best look. Definitely roll the shoulders back, push the chest out. That's one of the reasons I love a structured jacket, because it does build up the shoulders and it encourages a man to have good posture whenever he stands, whenever he sits. But tied with that, don't be afraid to start conversations, to actually, identify people. It could just be the bartender. It could just be somebody that, hey, is working the event. Maybe the one person you know. Start that conversation and then work from there. Maybe they can introduce you to somebody. Maybe you start that conversation because other people are going to note. And this is actually more of a social setup of how we view people, but people that react positively to other people, this sends a signal that this person's been accepted. So other people that may not know you, when they see that you have already been speaking with, you've been friendly with other people, all of a sudden they take note of who this person is, and your status, your social rank, all of a sudden starts to go up. Now, when it comes to grooming, I'm not going to say impeccable grooming is going to make you the best looking man in the room, but if you mess this up, if you've got really nasty looking nails, if you've got bad breath, if you have something in your teeth, it can definitely knock you down, no matter how well you're dressed, no matter how good your mannerisms are. If you've got something hanging out of your nose, you've got nose hair that's going down, down towards the bottom of your lip, that's just not a great look. So take care of the basics of grooming before you even show up. This includes your nails, making sure that they're not only properly cut, but you go over them with a file to make sure they're smooth. You don't want to go shake somebody's hand and end up cutting them. Also, let's pay attention to your skin, using a bit of a skin cream, especially as you get older. You start to maybe lose a little bit of color in the face. You want to have a moisturizer that just brings, just gives it a youthful type of energetic type of feel. And if you really want to come off as having a lot of energy, nothing wrong with actually getting in a workout before the event. Now, you want to make sure that you shower, you don't have any sweat left on you, you clean up. But here's the thing. After exercise, you've got that natural glow. Your capillaries are full of blood. All of a sudden, it's rushing to your skin. You just simply look like you have more life in you. And nothing wrong with that. People are going to be attracted to it. You're going to feel a bit more energetic. Just make sure you got sleep the night before, but nothing wrong with it. A little bit of exercise. I even knew a guy that before he would go to an event, he'd stop and do a whole bunch of push-ups, kind of get him into the feeling, and just all of a sudden it pumped blood everywhere, just made him feel great. Again, whatever works for you. Now, gents, if you enjoyed this video, you are going to love this one right here. The number one rule to always look handsome. What's that number one rule? I got you covered in this video. Boom, right here. Check it out. Good one.